Hello everyone, this is Advocate Vinay Jain, and at the outset I really appreciate the efforts taken by CTC in disseminating of the knowledge in various innovative ways. This is one of such instances where with respect to this 𝐵𝐲𝐚𝐧𝐒 series, short video which is the current trend, by way of which the CTC is disseminating the knowledge, that is really appreciable. In the centenary years, the CTC has come out with so many other activities. This is one of such activities, and today's my topic is what are the things you have to keep in mind, 12 important steps you have to keep in mind as soon as you receive any �ㄒ𝐞𝐜 notice, any GST notice or any �ㄒ𝐞𝐜 notice you receive. So what are the important steps you have to take into consideration as soon as you receive it? So first and foremost, as soon as you receive the �ㄒ𝐞𝐜 notice, you have to keep the copy of the envelope by which you have received the �ㄒ𝐞𝐜 notice, that you have to keep it intact. Even though nowadays they are uploading the �ㄒ𝐞𝐜 notice on the portals, but even then you have to portal also, you have to take a screenshot, because sometimes it may so happen that the date is changed thereafter or something. Therefore you have to keep the screenshots so that as and when required we can prove what is the date of the communication of the �ㄒ𝐞𝐜 notice. That is very important and first and foremost crucial steps as soon as you receive the notice. The second thing you have to check is whether the copy of the �ㄒ𝐽 notice is legible or not. Because if it is not legible, then immediately you have to ask for the legible copy, because after later point of time, when the matter proceeds on higher forums, at that point of time you want legible copy, that point of time it may not be available. So that's the second step you have to do as soon as you receive the notice. Third, you need to check whether the copies of all relied upon documents has been served to you or not. Because even if it is mentioned in the �ㄒ𝐽 notice but it is not served to you, then we have to ask for the copy of the relied upon documents. Fourth step we have to do is whether the DIN number is there or not, because DIN is a very important, it prevents any fraud in this thing, because we will come to know whether this is coming from the authenticated sources or not. Therefore you have to check the DIN number, you have to verify the DIN number. Even though recently CBIC has clarified that DIN number is not mandatory where it is uploaded on the portal, some RFN number is already there, that will amount to duplicacy of the verification process, and therefore in such cases they said the DIN number is not required. But for that all communication, DIN number is necessary, and you have to ensure that your �ㄒ𝐽 notice contains the DIN number. Next step fifth one you have to take is consideration is whether the notice is served to you properly or not. Because in terms of 169 prescribed procedure, by virtue of which you have to it has to be served in that particular manner only and no other manner. It's not the case that if you have received the notice from some of your friends or colleagues and this thing, that is not the proper way of delivery. So you have to make sure that whatever �ㄒ𝐽 notice is received in accord and served to you in accordance with section 169 of the CGST Act only. If it is not in accordance with, then it's not the proper delivery. Sixth you have to check is whether the authority who has issued 𝐶𝐽 notice to you has the jurisdiction to issue such 𝐶𝐽 notice or not. Because in terms of section 6(2)(b), bars if the proceeding are already initiated by CGST officer, then SGST officer cannot do the proceeding, or vice versa. Otherwise also you need to check whether the person who has issued notice to you has the territorial jurisdiction over you or not. If it doesn't have any territorial jurisdiction, then also it can be null and void in law. Therefore that is also one of the important aspects you have to take into consideration. The next thing, seventh thing you have to keep in mind is whether any pre-𝐶𝐽 notice consultation is given to you or not. Even though as such they have amended the rule in 2020 to say that we may provide you for pre-consultation opportunity, and they have amended the rule itself. But even thereafter, I am of the view that pre-𝐶𝐽 notice is mandatory, because they have not specified in what cases the pre-𝐶𝐽 notice is to be given, in what cases pre-𝐶𝐽 not to be given. That is not been specified in the rule. Therefore rule in that sense is arbitrary. So how to decide whether pre-𝐶𝐽 notice is to be given or not? Even otherwise, because our section 74 and 73 provides for closure of the proceeding before issuance of the notice also. So that statutory opportunity will be foreclosed if the pre-𝐶𝐽 notice consultation is not given to you. So that is also you have to check whether any pre-𝐶𝐽 notice consultation has been given to you or not. Then you have to check whether the allegation in the show cause notice, what are the allegations, whether there any vagueness in the show cause notice, whether they're clearly spelled out, what are the contravention you have done, whether the allegation and the limitation are specific or not, or merely they're saying you have suppressed this thing, because this allegation suppression also should be specific. So that also you have to take into consideration to what exactly the allegation is. Then ninth thing you have to take into consideration, what is the time limit they have given. So generally as such, there is no statutory time limit to respond to the show cause notice, and generally they give 30 days time to respond to the show cause notice, but you have to see that how much time he has given, whether, because in refund proceeding they may give lesser time, 15 days or so. So what time has been given to you and to whom you have to respond to, that also you need to very careful, because sometimes the notice may be issued by one authority, but the adjudication thereof has to be done by the another authority. Therefore that also you have to make a note of it, that whom you have to respond and by what time you have to respond to it. The next thing thereafter you have to undertake is you have to gather all the documents, whether you have to gather all the documents what has been required for in order to respond to the notice. Also, like for whatever communication you had with the department, you have to make a list thereof, and you should have been the copy of all the communication from the date of investigation till the date of issuance of the show cause notice. All the communication should be having it. So you have to also, what are the documents which are further required to respond to the notice, that also you can prepare a list that these are the documents I have to collect in order to respond to the notice. Another important aspect is that in terms of section 74-73, there are certain options available to you to foreclose the proceeding. Like for example, you can pay some tax interest, 15% of amount and 25% of the amount within 30 days of the issuance of the notice and foreclose the proceeding. So that option is very time bound and specific in manner. Therefore, as soon as you receive the notice, you have to take a call as to whether you want to foreclose the proceeding under those provisions or not. If you want to proceed ahead with that, then you have to take immediate steps and then make payment and foreclose the proceeding. And last and important step is you have to make a brief synopsis. So what are the allegations, what are the you have to make a date chart of the whatever events happen till the investigation, till the date of issuance of show cause notice, and you have to make a brief synopsis. So it will help you as and when the case proceeds, because some events may be missed out by that point of time. Therefore, if you prepare a date chart and synopsis, it will help you in briefing your counsel also, and in otherwise also to respond to the notice. This will be really helpful. So therefore, no need to panic. As soon as you receive notice, follow these steps and then have a proper response to the notice. These are all this in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.